So a few months ago, everyone was wondering how the second series of Chib's dumpster fire could possibly be worse than the first. Well, he managed it, folks, as Chibs managed to give the middle finger to classic and new Who and every other medium Doctor Who has ever appeared in. He's ruined it, folks, completely and utterly. So how did he manage to do it? Well, let's take a look at the abomination known as the Timeless Children. At the beginning of this mess, the Master, who is one of the only actors in this mess that can actually act, threatens to turn Dr. Nasty and her friends into dolls. Jesus Christ, man, just do it already. This would be a much better ending than what Chibs the Idiot has in store for us. But then, Dr. Nasty acquiesces and follows the Master into the portal so Chibs can go forth with his destruction plot. Then we go back to our friends from last week's mess, as if anybody cares. Honestly, is there anybody that hasn't completely forgotten about them in the past week? We get another Cyberman shooty scene, and once again, even I'm amazed at how much I don't care. Then, back on Gallifrey, the Master tells Dr. Nasty to look upon his work and despair. No, despair is what Doctor Who fans will be feeling in about half an hour. The Master takes Dr. Nasty on a tour of the ruins of the capital, such a great metaphor for what is about to happen to the show. I'll give you that, Chibs. Then our boring side plot starts planning to take on the Cybermen. Whatever, I still don't care. Then back on destroyed Gallifrey, the Master is going on about remodeling the Citadel and references the deadly assassin. Please don't bring one of the greatest stories in Doctor Who history into this. Then the Master has a conversation with Cyberdude so Chibs can set up one of the more ludicrous plot points in this disaster. He plans to bring the Cybermen to the planet formerly known as Gallifrey, and then sends an execution squad to deal with the fam. Then we have a random scene where Graham tells Wooden Plank Yaz how great she is. To quote Graham, he says, "If we don't get out of this, I want you to know, I think you're such an impressive young woman. Never thrown by anything, always fighting, and you're the best person I've ever met." Good lord, what the hell have you been smoking, man? Always fighting? She's a cop that never shows up to work. And of course she can't be thrown by anything, because she does nothing! There's useless companions like Dodo and Adric, but Yaz is on a whole new level. Then he's worried that he offended her. 2020, yo! Next we learn that the Master didn't destroy the Matrix. Well, I wonder where this plot thread is going. Apparently, young Master was playing in the Matrix, and he found, quote, everything. Well, everything is told by Chibs the Idiot. Then he says, it's time for Dr. Nasty to learn the truth. And with those words, the show formerly known as Doctor Who, now known as Shit, is about to die a very painful death. Dr. Nasty is about to learn the, quote, truth of the Time Lords. Then we cut back to our fam, who are hiding in cyber suits, but Chibs era Cybermen can't detect them. Well, they suck just like everything else in this era. What a surprise. Next, it's story time, as Dr. Nasty is forced into the Matrix. The Master tells us that before the Time Lords, there was a stunning and brave woman named Tectoyun, or whatever. We'll just call her Cannon Destroyer. Cannon Destroyer was the first of the Shibogans, or early Gallifreyans, to travel into space. Cannon Destroyer finds a dimensional gateway and an abandoned child, also known as the Timeless Child, but we'll call her Little Cannon Destroyer. And take note that Little Cannon Destroyer isn't a white male, because Chibs the Idiot's era of the show formerly known as Doctor Who, now known as Shit, doesn't want to offend anyone. Now try to take a guess what is about to happen. Cannon Destroyer proves herself to be a wonderful mother by letting Little Cannon Destroyer play with her friend near the edge of a cliff. Then Little Cannon Destroyer falls off. Oh no! Great job, Cannon Destroyer. But then, Little Cannon Destroyer regenerates. I guess Chibs doesn't seem to understand that the secret of the Time Lords is something that was supposed to be kept deliberately vague. It was one of the most endearing aspects of the show. But again, this is Chibs the Idiot, and he knows better than the rest of us, and he sees it as his God-given right to destroy this once great show to score woke points. Well, he has been destroying it for 2 years, but this is the final nail in the coffin. Little Cannon Destroyer regenerates into another female. Can you see where this is going yet? Next, the Cybermen land on Gallifrey, as dyspraxic Ryan seems to have no problem blowing up Cybermen on the magical portal planet. Forgot about that part of his arc, eh, Chibs? Then Ryan starts dancing, and the Cybermen start shooting, and I laugh in hysterics, which will be the last time I do such a thing in this episode. Then Cyberdude, remember, the one that we've been watching in complete boredom for the past few weeks, shows up. The Master offers Gallifrey as a gift to the Cyberdude to make up for Gallifreyan oppression. Yep, that's a thing. Cyberdude wants nothing to do with it and wants to destroy all organic life. Even though his head seems pretty organic to me, he has the death particle, which can destroy all organic life. Then I guess you're screwed, dude. The Master points out the flaw in his plan, but Cyberdude says they've purged themselves of this. Well then, please explain your face, Cyberdude. He says he will join his friends in full mechanization. So will that be before or after you purge all organic life? Think this through, man. Also, don't Cybermen need organic brains? Just saying is all. Great work, Chibs. Next, we go back to Cannon Destroyer, who kills Little Cannon Destroyer repeatedly as we watch Little Cannon Destroyer display an incredible array of diversity through her regeneration cycles. What a wonderful mother she is. Cannon Destroyer manages to figure out the secret of regeneration and regenerates herself into a dude, but not a white dude, because that would be offensive. Cannon Destroyer leads the way to the creation of, quote, elite Time Lord society and restricts the regenerative process to 12. Now at this point, you're probably thinking, where do Rassilon and Omega fit into this? As the current production team says, who? Little Cannon Destroyer becomes the base genetic code for all elites in the Citadel. Then Dr. Nasty asks what happened to Little Cannon Destroyer, and, with a few short words, Chibs the idiot, speaking through the Master, destroys everything Doctor Who stood for. The Master says, "Oh Doctor, really? Haven't you worked this out yet? The child is you. You are the timeless child." What the fuck? And with that line, Doctor Who died. So this character, whose first regeneration was William Hartnell, a Time Lord fed up with Gallifreyan society that left to explore the universe with his granddaughter, was at the center of everything. No, Chibs, you fucking idiot. The Doctor was never the reason for everything. This did not happen. It is made clear over and over again throughout Classic and New Who that William Hartnell was the first Doctor. You moron! So you may ask, why the hell would Chibs the idiot do this? It's a mixture of ego and complete incompetence. Other producers have contemplated doing things like this, but none of them actually went through with it. Why? Because they weren't complete idiots. This is what you call jumping the shark, henceforth to be known as Chibnallizing, where a piece of fiction strays so far from its original form that it ceases to be that thing entirely. Even Stephen Moffat, who had a tendency of questioning canon without actually destroying it, would never have gone this far, and RTD certainly would not have done it. No former showrunner would have done this. This is no longer the story of a man that explores time and space in a police box. You have essentially turned the Doctor into Space Jesus. This is what happens when you hand control of a time-honored franchise over to a complete hack. The writing should have been on the wall when Chibs turned the Doctor into a woman for purely ideological reasons, and then used this character to lecture to us for 2 years. Chibs has shown his complete and utter disrespect for every showrunner, every writer, every actor, and every fan that was there before he got his grubby little mitts on this franchise. This is no longer Doctor Who, and unless everything turns out to be a dream or a lie, and we know it won't because this is Chibs the idiot, then there is no going back from this and the show is done. The only way of fixing this is to do a complete reboot. It's over. It was fun while it lasted. Rest in peace, Doctor Who, 1963 to 2017. So we might as well get back to the rest of this episode, as if it really matters now. The fam and friends continue to fight the Cybermen on Portal Planet, and Cybergram and Yaz come in to save the day, and of course Graham can't get his helmet off. But really, who cares? That got old a long time ago. Then the Master has an argument with Cyber Dude and shrinks him. Well, that was easy. Then the Master absorbs plot device Cyber Liquid and does a little dance. Then he says he's mad because a little piece of Dr. Nasty has always been with him. Well, we'd be mad too. Then we learn that Little Cannon Destroyer was part of the Division, a secret organization, so secret that nobody's ever heard of it, including any writers before Chibs the idiot came onto the scene. Then we learn that most of Little Cannon Destroyer's memories were lost, as Chibs the idiot continues to try to be clever. All that's left are traces of our friend Brendan from last week. Whatever, nobody cares. All together now. Shut up, Chibs. Next we learn that the Master kept all the bodies of the dead Time Lords because he wants to create a new race of Cyber Time Lords. God damn it, this is 5th grade fanfic, folks. Then in walks a bunch of Cybermen wearing Time Lord headdresses and robes. No, I didn't make that up. It actually happened. One of them shoots another one and it regenerates. I guess there aren't enough brains left in the universe then. Next, the fam jumps into the portal and ends up on Gallifrey. Yeah, and as I said, nobody cares about them anymore. Then Ruth shows up and she says she's just as lost as Dr. Nasty. Yeah, we all are. Then Ruth asks Dr. Nasty if she's ever been limited by who she was before. Nope, and more than a few jokes could be made here. Then Dr. Nasty starts talking to herself. Then in a scene of utter pomposity, the Doctor Who theme starts playing in the background and we get a glimpse of all the regenerations of the real Doctor as Chibs once again gives us all the middle finger. Then Dr. Nasty blows up the Matrix. Might as well. Everything else is destroyed. Dr. Nasty wakes up to her fam. What a terrible image. Then Dr. Nasty goes on about how clever she is. Then, as more boom boom explosion effects go off in the background, the fam escapes in a Type 40 TARDIS, despite the fact that all Type 40 TARDISes were decommissioned centuries ago. And Dr. Nasty stays behind to blow up the Cybermen and sacrifice herself. One can only hope. But then Magical Portal Dude comes in to save the day, and the Master says he's broken Dr. Nasty. Well, a few things have been broken today, and Dr. Nasty's the one we care about the least. Then Gallifrey gets blown up. Again, might as well at this point. Dr. Nasty gets away in another Type 40 TARDIS that isn't supposed to exist, that takes the shape of a tree, and then abandons it, and then apologizes to her own TARDIS for cheating on it. Then in more randomness, the Jadoon show up in the TARDIS console room and take Dr. Nasty off to prison. Good, now leave her there! And that's the story of how Chibs the Idiot finally managed to completely destroy this nearly 57-year-old franchise. I mean, we all knew things were going to be bad when a certain casting announcement was made on that dark July day back in 2017, but could anybody have guessed that things would get this bad? Could anybody have guessed that Chibs the Idiot would completely and utterly destroy Doctor Who? Not much more needs to be said here. Doctor Who is over, but a run from 1963 to 2017 is still impressive, I guess. And don't forget to register your complaints with BBC Complaints. Just Google BBC and complaints. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and check your subscription and notification status because YouTube is being shady on these things lately. And follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thanks for watching and have a great day.